Hello there, welcome to Growth Every Moment, the place where we don't try to turn ourselves into superheroes. We just try to be a little less lazy than we were yesterday. Maybe there have been times when you sat at the end of the year and asked yourself, wait, a whole year has passed. What have I actually done for myself? You still go to work, you still eat well, you still scroll social media until your thumb is tired. But when someone asks you to name a few things you are truly proud of, it is strangely hard. Those moments are the alarm bells that tell us. The problem is not that we are not good enough, but that our daily habits are quietly steering our lives in random directions. If we want to steer our life back on track, we need a clear destination. Without a goal, every effort is just running in circles to feel busy, not to move forward. Imagine your life as a trip. If you do not know which city you want to reach, then every time someone says, "Come on, this place is fun, let's go," you may agree. But after every trip, you still do not know if that was where you really wanted to go. A 25-year-old office worker had a year exactly like that. At the end of the year, she struggled to name even 3 clear achievements that truly belonged to her. In 2025, she stopped writing vague things like, "I want to be richer, happier, more successful," and wrote something very specific. By the end of the year, I must have at least $50 million in my savings account. From that moment on, every spending decision had to look at that 50 million number. Suddenly, everything became much clearer. You can do the same right now. Open a piece of paper or a note on your phone and write one sentence. My biggest goal in 2025 is, then read it out loud like a small promise to yourself and to growth every moment. Once you have a goal, the next question appears. Okay, so where do I find the time to actually do all these things? The answer lies in something very familiar that we often ignore: the morning. The morning is that rare time of the day when notifications have not exploded yet, your boss has not called you, and drama has not come knocking on your door. You do not need to become the kind of person who wakes up at 4 a.m. to run around a lake. You just need to wake up earlier than the 2024 version of yourself. Min, a classic office worker, used to live the full night-owl lifestyle, sleeping at 1 to 2 a.m. and waking up at 8 a.m., eyes puffy like he had just finished a sad movie. Every morning was a battle with the alarm clock. In 2025, Min made one small change: go to bed before midnight and wake up at 7 a.m. instead of 8. That one extra hour he used to move his body for 20 minutes, read for 20 minutes, and eat breakfast slowly for 20 minutes. After a few weeks, Min felt the day became longer. His mind less stressed first thing in the morning, and most importantly, every day did not feel the same anymore. You can try this too. Tonight, set your alarm 30 minutes earlier than usual. Tomorrow, do not hit snooze and roll over. Just getting up already means you have beaten the old you. From waking up early, we naturally step into another superpower: the ability to focus. Have you noticed that many days feel extremely busy, but when you look back in the evening, you cannot really tell what meaningful thing you finished? The reason is simple. Your time gets shredded into tiny pieces by messages, notifications, short videos, and those "I'll just scroll for 5 minutes" moments that somehow turn into 30 minutes. Lily, a content creator, used to spend half a day on a single article. Not because the topic was hard, but because every 2 lines of writing were followed by checking messages, scrolling social media for inspiration, and then getting sucked into the feed. One day, Lily decided to try deep work. Each morning she picked the most important task of the day, set a 60-minute timer, put her phone far away, turned off all notifications, and did only that one task. The result was that her articles were done in 1 to 2 hours. The rest of the day felt less chaotic, and she no longer felt like deadlines were constantly breathing down her neck. You can try the same thing tomorrow. Choose one golden task for the day, set a 60-minute timer, and challenge yourself to stay with it. When you are done, give yourself a little compliment. I just worked like an upgraded version of myself, and we will be applauding for you in spirit. Once you have more time and focus, small pockets of free time will start to appear in your day. That is when reading can quietly step in. You do not need to declare that you will read 52 books a year. Just the thought can be exhausting. All you need is 10 to 20 minutes a day, so your brain can get a light workout. Anna, who used to hate books and only read short captions and comments, never saw herself as a book person. But she wanted to understand money, communication, and her own emotions better. So in 2025, she made a small deal with herself. Every night before bed, read for just 10 to 15 minutes, and only pick easy, relatable books. After a few months, Anna realized she spoke more clearly. She was less panicked whenever something happened, and she was not pulled into online comparisons as easily as before. You do not need the most legendary book to start. Just pick the one that is easiest for you to read. Tonight, before bed, open it and read for 10 minutes. Adding knowledge is great, but if your body always feels like it has just climbed a mountain, it will be hard to keep any good habit going. That is why another very familiar habit becomes important: moving your body. This is not about becoming a model. It is about not gasping for breath after a few flights of stairs, not having a sore back every time you sit for long, and not collapsing at the end of each workday. You can start right now. Stand up, roll your neck and shoulders, bend forward a few times. Then tonight, set aside 20 minutes to walk or exercise lightly. No need to glow up in 7 days, just do not quit after day 2. Many people think you only need to manage money when you are already rich. The truth is the opposite. Because you are not rich yet, you have to manage money. Salary arrives in one chunk, but money leaks out drip by drip. And by the end of the month, you are left with a few bills and the question, what did I even spend on? Rosie, who earns 12 million USD a month, used to live exactly like that. This year, she tried something very simple. Divide the money the moment her salary arrived. Instead of letting it sit in one pile and spending as it comes. One portion for daily living, one for savings, one for learning and improving herself, and one for fun, eating out, hanging out, little treats for the soul. At first, it felt restrictive because she could not spend freely anymore. But after a few months, Rosie began to see a small emergency fund growing. Money available for courses, books, and tools, and she started moving closer to her financial goals. Next time you get paid, try doing the same. Do not rush to spend. Sit down for 10 to 15 minutes and split the money into your own jars. Then write it down as my 2025 money plan. Even if your goals, time, body, and finances are in better shape, there is still a quiet thief of energy: social media. The real question is, are you using them, or are they using you? Olivia, like many of us, had a very modern habit. The moment she woke up, her hand reached for her phone to scroll stories and check what everyone else was doing. And she ended every night under the blue glow of her screen. Her day started by watching other people's lives and ended by quietly feeling that her own life was not as good. In this year, Olivia set herself a soft rule: no social media in the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking up, and no scrolling in the last hour before bed. She used that time instead to move a little, read a few pages, or write in her journal. After a while, she felt her mind getting quieter, her sleep deeper, and, most importantly, her self-worth less dependent on other people's highlight reels. You can try a mini detox like that, tonight. Give your phone a break for the last 30 minutes before sleeping. And tomorrow morning give yourself the first 30 minutes of the day before you give them to the newsfeed. Speaking of giving time to yourself, there is another habit that sounds simple, but is surprisingly healing. Journaling, writing down your thoughts and feelings. Not the today the weather was nice and I ate 3 meals kind, but the this is what I felt and thought kind. Some things are hard to say out loud but easier to write. Harry, who tends to overthink and blame himself, used to lie awake at night replaying every conversation and mistake in his head. Later, he tried writing for 5 to 10 minutes each night. What he did that day, what he was grateful for, and what he wanted to improve tomorrow. The pages did not turn him into a novelist, but they did turn him into someone who understood himself better, was less harsh with himself, and could see that he was not as stuck as he thought. Tonight, before bed, write a few lines about anything you want to release. It does not have to be beautiful. It just has to be honest. The world is changing fast, and your income no longer depends only on how many years you have been working, but on what you can actually do. Linda, an office worker, used to think salary increases were purely up to her boss. But after watching friends take online jobs, create content, edit videos, and earn extra money, she decided that the year of video editing, she did not study in a dramatic way. After half a year, she was already bringing in extra income, and by the end of the year, her total earnings were clearly higher. Ask yourself this: if you could choose just one skill to grind in 2025, what would it be? Write it down, then today, find one basic video, course, or guide, and start learning for 20 to 30 minutes. One study session will not change your life, but studying a little every day definitely will. And finally, there is a habit that sounds vague, but is extremely practical: learning to say no. Eric, a kind person who always said yes to every request and every invitation. His own work was delayed, his energy drained, and every evening he came home tired and annoyed without knowing why. Now, Eric practiced a new skill: polite refusal. These days I'm focusing on my health studies, so I'll have to pass, but, thank you. I can't take this on, but I wish you all the best with it. The people who truly valued him understood, and the relationships that only depended on him always saying yes slowly faded away, which turned out to be a good thing. You can pick one invitation or one task that you know deep down is not necessary, and practice saying no gently. Use that reclaimed time and energy to do something good for yourself: exercise, rest, learn, or be with your loved ones. That is how you tell yourself, I matter, and my energy is worth protecting. By now, you might be thinking, there is so much to do, how can I handle it all? The good news is, you do not have to. No one expects you to adopt all 10 habits in a day, a week, or even a month. What we hope you remember is this: pick 1 or 2 habits that resonate with you the most, that fit your current life the best, and start from there. Every day, you lay another brick, and a year from now, you will look back and realize you have built a completely different version of yourself. If you find the video useful, please support me by giving me 1 like, 1 share, 1 subscription, and don't forget to comment. Thank you for listening.